My name is Paul Shelley, and welcome to Galactic Historian. This is a series where I talk about all things sci-fi and space lore. Today I'm going to be doing another list video, because y'all just can't get enough of them. I've talked a lot about ships and their importance, but Star Citizen lore also has a lot of named ships which, while they aren't essential to understanding the lore, are interesting and or really unique, or just weird. Before I get started, I'd like to thank y'all for watching these videos. I've had a significant rise in subscribers and viewers over the last few months, and without all of you watching and spreading the word, this wouldn't be possible. If you have been enjoying these videos, think about subscribing yourself and hitting the bell icon to be notified when new videos come out. Also remember that if you like this video, hit the like button and be sure to share it with your friends. So, without further ado, these are 5 weird and interesting ships of the Star Citizen verse. This first ship is one that actually got some attention in the community recently, and one of the reasons why I did this list. This ship is a regular to the major ship races of the verse, and has been given the name Ship X. No, it's not some mysterious racer, but a simple Hull C. The odd thing about this ship is not really its design, but what it does. Painted in consistently changing series of garish colors and capable of seemingly changing its identification number on the fly, Ship X seems to travel from race to race around the galaxy, displaying profane and bizarre slogans to the assembled crowds. The average viewer of space races may not know about this, as the broadcasts always manage to cut it out, but it is a familiar sight to anyone who's ever attended a major race in person. It's apparent that Ship X carries no cargo, as it escapes at full thrust when its presence is spotted by track officials. So the next time you attend the Murray Cup, keep a weather eye open for the funky-colored ship with lewd and crude messages scrawled across it. The next ship on this list is a Carrack. Now, if you've watched my other videos on the Carrack, you know that I think that the series has a dodgy history when it comes to many of its ships, but this one in particular has managed to reverse the curse and has used this powerful platform to enter the history books. It was commissioned in 2940 and is named the Boccaccio. It's owned by the renowned Dr. Lorraine Kent. The Boccaccio and her crew are famed for a series of historical wrecks discovered through what Kent describes as a combination of archival research, expert survey work, and sheer luck. Discoveries include the abandoned 22nd century colony transport Zephyr, the battlecruiser Braintree, and the impact site of the Spider Cat. Kent and her crew dedicate much of their time today to the search for and recovery of extrasolar military remains from past conflicts. So if you see the name Boccaccio on your scanners, stick close. You might be following this famous ship on its way to another stunning discovery. The next ship is actually a set of 3 ships, 3 Idrises to be precise. You see, since the early 29th century, Aegis has found a market for many of its aging Idrises. Civilians have used them for a variety of odd purposes, from floating capital cities to archaeological surveyors, and these 3 are no exception. You see, at the time they were sold, the UAE was undergoing a cargo crisis due to a lack of ships. Many ship companies that had produced civilian transports were no longer in business because their close ties to the Mezzers had caused them to fall apart during the anti-Mezzer revolution. As a result, there was a distinct lack of cargo ships in the early 29th century. This need for cargo ships caused the UAE to sell many of its aging naval vessels to try to keep up with supply lines. It was at this time that the BX-214, BX-215, and BX-218 were sold. These Idris-class frigates were purchased by an aid organization in 2812 in response to disaster in the Corral system. Unexpected solar activity caused a near-total crop loss in the system for an 18-month period, prompting a major aid effort to help ship food and other aid supplies in. The 3 Idrises, their flight bays converted for freight for the first time, served as armored transports as part of a large, ragtag fleet of comparably repurposed vessels. It's not known what happened to these 3 converted Idrises, but we do know that the ragtag fleet of converted ships managed to keep the Corel system from collapsing. So maybe one day we'll find these strange armored cargo ships flying the space lanes and looking to save another system in distress. Next, we'll talk about what is likely the most famous civilian hammerhead designed to do totally insane operations well outside the ship's design specifications. It's called the Twilight Assessor, and it's a Navy surplus Flight 2A ship which was converted into a high-risk observation platform for tourists. Hammerheads are becoming an increasingly common sight, with many civilians using them as armored transports or outfit them for a variety of other purposes, ranging from low-level blockade ships to highly customized medical ships. The Twilight Assessor has retained her mil-spec shielding, but converted all her turrets into reinforced observation domes, allowing paying customers the experience of being up close and personal with dangerous nebulae, gas giants, solar flares, and other stellar phenomena. The reason it is so famous, however, is that at one point the ship was found floating in space, and her crew were found dead, with absolutely no indication of a loss of oxygen or other damage. Since then, she has returned to service. However, the mystery that surrounds the incident is as much of a draw to more customers as her daring missions themselves. The last ship on this list is another odd Idris. However, unlike the BX series of ships, which were all former military, this was purpose-built. After the demand for Idrises for civilians skyrocketed, Aegis developed a new class of Idris, the Idris Patrol or Idris P. These are not converted military ships, but designed from their inception to their buyer's specifications. While most were sold to militias or security forces, this one was built to be a bit more unique. The Helens Canard was a purpose-built Idris P owned by the weapons magnate Jair Forsyth. In his later years, Forsyth became increasingly paranoid and ultimately interested in avoiding human contact altogether. Shortly after his 75th birthday, he sold off all his terrestrial real estate and invested a significant portion of his weapons investments into the conversion of the Idris into an armored luxury spacecraft. The details of how the ship was crewed and its current whereabouts remain unknown. The next time you're in deep space, keep an eye out on your scanners for the Helens Canard. Maybe you can uncover the mystery of the reclusive billionaire. So those were 5 weird and interesting ships from Star Citizen lore. I'd like to thank you for watching, and I would like to thank those on the screen now who support me on Patreon to keep this content going. I'm currently trying to raise enough to hire an editor who can help me increase the quality and quantity of these videos, including a timed Patreon exclusive where I cover the entire history of the Star Citizen universe. If that sounds like something you'd enjoy, think about joining my Patreons for as little as $5 a month. For now, let me know if you'd like me to do another one of these videos. What other lore ships would you like to learn about? Make sure to tell me in the comments below, and as always, remember, Ex Historia ad Astra.